Good morning. Another day, another port. Today we are in Iceland's capital, Reykjavik. The port is a short bus journey outside the city. There's a complimentary bus service going to be run to take us into the city. And that's my plan for today. Go into Reykjavik, have a walk round, make some photos, find some geocaches. This is my fourth visit here, but actually I've only once been into the city centre, and that was on my very first visit in 2012. So today is a good chance to go back and see lots of interesting sights there. Places I particularly want to visit and photograph, the big theatre that's opened in 2011, the iconic church, and there's a lovely sort of little park, lake area, and those are just three of the locations that I will be visiting today. So come and join me as we have a look round Reykjavik in Iceland. The complimentary shuttle bus drops you off outside the Harpa Concert Hall. Heading up to the Lutheran church in the centre of town takes you up another Rainbow Road, or Rainbow Street, celebrating the country's LGBT community. Hi, I've come down to the Lutheran church here in Reykjavik. This is the most prominent structure here. It was commissioned in 1937. They started building it in 1945 and they finished it in, I think it was 86. So what's that, 41 years to build? It's a really imposing structure. And if it looks familiar to a church in one of my other travel logs, that's because it was designed by the same architect who designed the church in Akureyri that I've talked about in the previous travel log. You can't see the people behind me because I've managed to find a location where I can talk to camera without the people being in shot, but it is very, very busy here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in a few shots of all the crowds outside, including one still photo of that. And today's really an exercise, or my visit here today is really an exercise on how to keep the crowds out of the photos. And I'm using lots of different techniques. The most common one I'm using is shooting over the heads of the crowds, and you can frame the church in such a way that they're not visible. Also, going around the back of the church, there's some nice views there of the church without the huge crowds there, and also the direction of the sun means I'm getting the blue skies from shooting in that position. Also, details, the brick columns of the church are meant to be reminiscent of basalt columns, basalt rock. But when you get close up, there's a sort of a cement plaster work on it, which is a lovely, interesting texture from a photograph point of view. Details can tell a huge amount about a location. There's also a statue here of Leifur Eiríksson, who is known as the Son of Iceland. It's a magnificent base to it, made of granite. I'm also going to go inside and make a few images in there as well. Going into the church is also crowded, and again used various techniques to keep the crowds out of the images. Geocaching has brought me to another historic location here in Reykjavik. The building behind me is really the start of Glasnost and effectively the fall of the Soviet Union, because it was here that Ronald Reagan met with Gorbachev, and those start of those peace talks that led to the end of the Soviet Union and the freedom for the Eastern Bloc countries. So quite a significant place. Now, it looks like it's in the middle of nowhere on the photographs, but if I spin the camera around, you can see, well, it is a big open area, but there are buildings either side and definitely behind me. But it's a lovely location and great to be here with the weather as it is. I never thought I would be in a t-shirt getting warm walking around Iceland, but here we are. Couldn't ask for better weather. Walking back into the city along the coast road brings us to the bright yellow Hofti Lighthouse, which was built in 2019, and to the 1990 Sun Voyager sculpture, which is a stylised representation of a Viking longboat. It's now day 2 of our visit to Reykjavik, and I've come to the Harper Conference Centre and Concert Hall. It's one of the most striking buildings here in Reykjavik. It was opened in 2011, and it's won lots of awards for its architecture. For me as a photographer, it holds lots of opportunities for abstract images, and I've been experimenting with wide angles, with lots of different ways, panoramas on phones, but instead of doing a panorama from left to right, I've been going from bottom to top, creating vertical panoramas, and even going back and over my head, so that you've got bits of the what's behind me at the top of the image, which gives some really weird effects, but really striking effects. So it's worth having a try at that. I'm going to carry on wandering around Reykjavik, visiting a few other locations, and make some images there. So I'll catch up with you at my next location. I've moved on now to Lake Tjornin, which is a pond or lake in the centre of Reykjavik. You can hardly miss it. It's in the middle. It's a lovely recreational area, apparently used a lot by the locals. It's a bit quiet today, not quite as sunny as it was yesterday. When I came round here yesterday briefly, and it was a lot busier than it is today. Been making a few photos here. Certainly one of the places that's worth visiting if you come to Reykjavik, and there are some nice photo opportunities. So enjoy the images and see you at the next location. I'm coming to the end of my time here in Iceland and here in the capital, heading back to the ship now. So I'm going to leave you with my remaining few photos from the visit to the city here. There are some strange sights in Reykjavik. I spotted a cat sleeping amongst stuffed birds, a half-finished sculpture, a puffin fighting a polar bear, and yes, you did read that right, and no, I didn't go there. And I'll catch up with you at my next travelogue, which will be in the Faroe Islands, Newport for me, Runavík. So I'll see you there. And until then, keep making great photos. Bye for now.